What is up, Nexus Nation? Get ready to power up your week because the gaming news cycle is absolutely exploding, and you're getting the unfiltered, high-octane rundown right here, right now. We've got massive revivals, intergalactic adventures, rhythm game revelations, and a look into the future of web-slinging that will blow your minds. Don't blink, don't breathe, because the updates you need to know are coming in hot. Are you ready for this? Let's go. First up, a legendary franchise is back and kicking butt like never before. We're diving deep into a review that's got everyone talking. Prepare for a deep dive into a samurai's quest for vengeance that's reigniting a beloved legacy. You won't want to miss this epic return. Then, blast off into the cosmos, because we're exploring a review of a classic anime that's been reborn as a side-scrolling adventure. Get ready for psycho gun action, alien battles, and a trip down memory lane that's packed with style. You'll want to strap in for this one. And hold on to your hats, because the music is about to drop. We're checking out a rhythm game that blends Norse sagas with killer beats, offering a unique challenge that's both addictive and surprising. Can you keep up with the tempo? Finally, the future of superhero gaming is here, and it's heading towards a new generation. We've got all the intel on the highly anticipated next chapter in one of gaming's most iconic series. Get ready for a spoiler-free look at what's coming and when. You absolutely cannot miss this. Smash that like button, subscribe to PS5 Nexus, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. A legendary blade reawakened. Sega's iconic Shinobi series, a franchise that has cast a long shadow since its late 80s origins, has finally broken its silence after a decade-long slumber. The wait is over with the arrival of Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, a brand new title from the acclaimed studio behind Streets of Rage 4 and Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap. This isn't just a revival, it's a bold reinvention, a game that masterfully honors its storied predecessors while confidently forging its own distinct path. The result is a revitalized action platformer that many are already hailing as the pinnacle of the entire series. The narrative centers on Joe Musashi, the legendary leader of the Oboro clan, whose peaceful existence is shattered when the menacing Lord Ruse and his ENE Corp forces launch a devastating assault. Their objective? To eradicate the last remaining threat to their global dominance. With his clan petrified and turned to stone, Joe is compelled to embark on a perilous quest for vengeance, vowing to dismantle ENE Corp piece by piece, all while forging alliances with a cast of unexpected companions. Though not the most intricate plot, it serves as a robust foundation for a compelling side-scrolling action experience, guiding players through a diverse array of environments across roughly a dozen meticulously crafted stages. These levels are expansive, occasionally feeling quite lengthy, and offer multiple branching pathways for exploration. While not strictly a Metroidvania, the intricate stage maps, complete with color-coded rooms denoting optional areas and boss encounters, certainly evoke that sense of discovery. The environments themselves are a feast for the eyes, ranging from the serene beauty of the Oboro village to the vibrant spectacle of a lantern festival, a pulsating neon-lit cityscape, and the eerie depths of a mysterious subnautical base, among many others. Each locale is rendered with exquisite detail, showcasing a beautiful illustrated art style. Despite minor occasional fuzziness when cutscene cameras zoom in, the game is overwhelmingly a visual triumph, enhanced by fluid and expressive animation for both Joe and his adversaries. However, the true magic of Art of Vengeance lies in its gameplay, which is as captivating as its visuals. The combat system, in particular, is an absolute joy, characterized by moves that seamlessly chain into one another, creating an incredibly satisfying flow. Players can fluidly combine light and heavy attacks, with this repertoire expanding significantly as new abilities are unlocked. By the game's conclusion, players will be adept at juggling enemies for their entire health bar, executing devastating combos both on the ground and in midair. A key element contributing to this fluid and rewarding combat is the ability to cancel attacks into a dash, immediately allowing for the initiation of a new combo and maintaining relentless offensive pressure. This mechanic feels absolutely fantastic. Mastering heavy attacks and the iconic throwable kunai is crucial for building an opponent's execution gauge. Once this gauge is filled, a distinct symbol appears above the enemy, signaling their vulnerability to a swift, insta-kill Shinobi execution. The strategic depth is amplified by the reward system tied to these executions. The more enemies dispatched simultaneously through this mechanic, the greater the bonuses, coins, kunai, and health players receive. This system presents a compelling choice. Opt for a faster, conventional takedown, or strategically focus on building and executing these high-reward finishers, which also presents the challenge of managing multiple enemies on screen while their meters fill. It injects a layer of tactical decision-making into what is otherwise a pure hack-and-slash experience, elevated by the sheer variety of maneuvers available. Complementing the core combat are the Ninpo and Ninjutsu abilities. Ninpo encompasses a range of magical skills, such as fiery blasts or protective water shields, while Ninjutsu offers more potent, rage-fueled attacks, including screen-clearing fiery assaults or significant health regeneration. The addition of equipable amulets, one passive, one combo-focused, further enhances gameplay customization. These amulets can drastically alter playstyle, prioritizing specific ninpo or accelerating rage meter buildup. Together, these elements create a combat system that invites endless experimentation and remains exhilarating throughout the game's approximately 15-hour runtime. Platforming, while generally responsive, is slightly less polished due to occasional issues with wall collision and hazards. However, new abilities like a grapple hook and glider are introduced, increasing the complexity of platforming sequences and enabling access to previously unreachable areas, rewarding thorough exploration with valuable items like Oboro relics and challenging rifts. Post-story content includes arcade mode, focusing on score and time, and a demanding boss rush mode. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance is a superb 2D action platformer, boasting gorgeous visuals and exceptionally satisfying combat. Its few minor drawbacks are easily overshadowed by its overwhelming strengths. Still reeling from that incredible Shinobi revival? Hold on to your controllers, because our next journey takes us to the stars with a review of a classic anime reborn as a side-scrolling adventure. A psychedelic journey through space. Originally drawing inspiration from Buichi Terasawa's iconic intergalactic manga from the late 1970s, the anime series Space Cobra, also known as Space Adventure Cobra, captivated audiences with its tales of an adventurer named Cobra navigating a universe teeming with cosmic battles. Though perhaps a more niche property today, the series is celebrated for its distinctive style, a vibrant snapshot of its era that has cemented its status as a nostalgic touchstone, especially as its original release approaches its 50th anniversary. Space Adventure Cobra, The Awakening, developed by MicroIDs, faithfully adapts the initial 12 episodes of the anime into a side-scrolling adventure. Players step into the boots of Cobra, a charismatic adventurer whose right arm houses the formidable Psychogun, an immensely powerful laser weapon. The game tasks players with traversing the galaxy, confronting unhinged cosmic crime lords, and battling a menagerie of alien ne'er-do-wells. The gameplay itself is commendably simplistic, yet possesses a remarkably fluid flow. Cobra is exceptionally nimble and responsive, allowing players to slide and dash with ease through waves of enemy fire. Beyond his signature Psychogun, Cobra also wields a trusty revolver, a grappling hook, and even exploding cigars, offering a versatile combat toolkit. Many of the game's scenarios demand a skillful combination of these abilities. Players will find themselves charging up their arm cannon to blast through destructible walls, employing the revolver to dismantle enemy shields, and executing daring dashes across perilous chasms. While the level design can occasionally lean towards trial and error, the generous checkpoint system and swift loading times effectively mitigate potential frustration. Following an initial demonstration of Cobra's capabilities in the opening level, players gradually rebuild his arsenal throughout the campaign, fostering a satisfying sense of progression. Furthermore, collectible items scattered throughout the stages can be used to enhance Cobra's effectiveness in battle, boosting attributes such as his overall speed, health, and the raw power of his Psychogun. The Psychogun's unique ability to bend and angle shots is a core mechanic, integrated into both combat encounters and environmental puzzles. For instance, a switch situated in an inconveniently inaccessible location might be activated by arcing a bullet around the environment, a challenge that becomes increasingly demanding as the game progresses. However, despite the generally good rhythm of the gameplay, there are moments where the controls don't feel as tight as they could be. The ability to plant one's feet with the L1 button is available, but in most combat scenarios, aiming requires constant movement. As both aiming and movement are mapped to the left analog stick, this can lead to imprecise control, particularly in levels featuring precarious on-rail sequences, like riding atop a speeding car, where a misstep can easily result in a fall. The reward for navigating these challenges is the presentation of awesome cutscenes, directly lifted from the original television series. These segments are available with English and French dubs, though playing in Japanese offers a more authentic experience for purists. While the voice acting across all languages is functional rather than exceptional, it aligns well with the game's overall aesthetic. As players advance, they can also unlock Cobra's ship, which can be customized using discovered treasures, though this feature feels somewhat basic and ultimately inconsequential to the core experience. Additionally, secret levels offer brief playable segments starring supporting characters like the android assistant lady and the striking bounty hunter Jane Royal, adding variety to the gameplay. There are incentives for replaying levels, such as striving for better par times and uncovering hidden secrets, some of which are only accessible after acquiring specific gear. However, while dedicated players might relish hunting down every collectible, many will likely be content with simply experiencing the campaign through to its conclusion, which typically takes around 10 hours. The game runs smoothly and presents a decent visual presentation, but it struggles to fully capture the vibrant, brash aesthetic of the 1980s anime. The Awakening's visuals are perhaps a tad too clean and lacking the distinctive soul of the original. Nevertheless, the soundtrack, a triumphant fusion of horns and piano chords, is undeniably catchy and serves as an earworm. It's a commendable effort to see Space Adventure Cobra reimagined in this format, and The Awakening certainly has the potential to cultivate a new generation of fans, especially given its generous inclusion of original TV show footage. While the in-game art style may not perfectly replicate the anime's charm, and the gameplay exhibits a few rough edges, the action often settles into a surprisingly compelling rhythm, and the clever utilization of Cobra's unique arsenal makes for an engaging experience. From the depths of space, we're now shifting gears to a completely different kind of adventure, one that's all about rhythm, music, and Viking might. Get ready to rock out with our review of Fresh Tracks. Norse beats and roguelike skis. Fresh Tracks presents a unique proposition, blending the adrenaline-fueled action of a rhythm game with the unpredictable challenge of a roguelike, all set against a dramatic Norse saga. While some elements might not immediately click, the game's core experience is undeniably compelling, driven by epic story songs that stand out as some of the most impressive in the rhythm genre in years. It's an incredibly fun title that quickly hooks players, even if it occasionally prompts a dive into menus to ensure no features are being overlooked. The gameplay loop of Fresh Tracks keeps players in constant motion. You'll be skiing downhill at high speeds, accompanied by intense, driving music, and your primary objective is to navigate obstacles by ducking, leaning, jumping, and double jumping in perfect time with the rhythm. Adding another layer to this dynamic, you wield a sword, channeling your inner Norse warrior. This swordplay involves swinging your weapon in sync with on-screen arrow prompts or simply in the direction needed to destroy obstacles and vanquish foes. It's not an overly complex system, but the sheer number of mechanics in play can feel overwhelming initially as you pick up speed. The stages are expertly designed, each offering adjustable difficulty settings. Players often have the choice between stages of varying challenge levels. While easier songs provide an accessible entry point for rhythm game veterans, the harder difficulties offer a significant and rewarding challenge. It's almost a certainty that players will stumble and fail stages as they learn the game's mechanics, and even after mastering the basics, achieving true proficiency will require dedicated practice. This is where the roguelike elements truly shine. Fresh Tracks distinguishes itself by randomizing the available songs for each run, though players are typically presented with a few choices to influence their path. Crucially, resources gathered during these runs can be used to upgrade your character. These upgrades can range from increased health and temporary invulnerability to the ability to retry failed stages, and much more. These persistent upgrades ensure that each subsequent run feels distinct and brings you closer to your ultimate goal. However, the cyclical nature of roguelike progression means that players will inevitably find themselves replaying sections of the game, and this is where the game's primary drawback emerges. This repetition, particularly of songs, can become a bit punishing. Even on an early subsequent run, encountering the same tracks multiple times within an hour is a distinct possibility. While the soundtrack itself is exceptional, spanning genres like pop, metal, theater, and rap, and featuring almost universally strong tracks that deserve to be on streaming platforms, the frequency of repetition can detract from the experience. Fresh Tracks offers a respectable 28 songs, a solid number for the genre, but the roguelike design inherently amplifies the music repetition, sometimes to a fault. Beyond the core rhythm and roguelike mechanics, Fresh Tracks offers substantial additional content. Successfully defeating bosses unlocks new narrators who guide players through their runs and can influence the song selection. Each narrator possesses a unique personality, and discovering and connecting with these different voices adds a significant layer of charm and replayability. Furthermore, a wide array of other equipment can be unlocked throughout a player's journey, providing ample motivation to continue exploring and playing. One peculiar aspect of Fresh Tracks is the conspicuous absence of a VR mode. Given its strong resemblance to games like Beat Saber, which are intrinsically tied to the VR experience, this omission is puzzling. The game's ability to remain thoroughly enjoyable without VR is a testament to its strong design, but it feels like a missed opportunity. It's possible the developers are holding back a VR version for a future release, which would undoubtedly draw players back in, suggesting a strategic foresight. Despite the occasional song repetition and the perplexing lack of VR support in a game that seems tailor-made for it, Fresh Tracks remains a fantastic experience. Its killer soundtrack and incredibly well-designed mechanics make it a must-play for any fan of rhythm games. From the rhythmic clashes of Norse warriors, we're now swinging into the concrete jungle for some web-slinging action. Get ready for the latest on the highly anticipated Spider-Man 3. Web-slinging into the next generation. The highly anticipated sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is officially in development at Insomniac Games, but fans eager to reunite with Peter Parker and Miles Morales will need to exercise considerable patience. Multiple credible leaks and industry insider reports indicate that Spider-Man 3 is not slated for release until much later in the current decade, with projections suggesting a launch window of 2028 or even 2029. This timeline places the game's debut beyond the typical lifespan of the PlayStation 5, hinting at a potential cross-generational release or even an exclusive launch on the upcoming PlayStation 6 console. This extended development period is further substantiated by Insomniac Games' current project slate. The studio is reportedly committed to developing titles based on Wolverine and Venom at least through 2026. It is only after these projects have concluded their development cycles that Spider-Man 3 is expected to enter full production. While neither Sony nor Insomniac Games has made an official announcement regarding the game, its development is widely considered a certainty within the gaming community. The game's protagonist, Peter Parker, voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, has publicly shared that he has been contacted for a third installment, strongly suggesting that the project is indeed in motion and progressing behind the scenes. Specific narrative details for Spider-Man 3 remain under wraps, but leaks and prevailing fan theories offer tantalizing glimpses into what players can expect. It is widely anticipated that the story will pick up directly from the dramatic cliffhanger ending of Spider-Man 2. Key villains such as Norman Osborn, also known as the Green Goblin, and Dr. Octopus are expected to play central roles in the unfolding plot. Furthermore, new characters like Silk, Cindy Moon, may make their debut, potentially expanding the game's roster of playable heroes and antagonists. The post-credit scenes in the previous installment offered subtle hints that corroborate these possibilities, fueling speculation about the future direction of the narrative. In terms of gameplay and mechanics, no concrete information has been officially released. However, leaked documents suggest that Insomniac Games is actively planning to address fan criticisms from the previous entries. This could include significant improvements to the suit customization options, the introduction of new abilities for both Peter and Miles, and a refined structure for the open-world environment. The inclusion of new playable characters with their own unique gameplay mechanics is also a possibility, aligning with the growing trend of expanding player agency within the series. Some fans are particularly hopeful for a cooperative mode that would allow players to seamlessly switch between or play alongside both Peter and Miles, or for a more prominent role for established supporting characters. While the exact release date remains uncertain, the consensus among industry observers is that Spider-Man 3 is definitively on the horizon. However, the projected launch window of 2028 or 2029 means a significant wait for eager fans. A 2029 release, potentially as a PlayStation 6 exclusive, appears to be the most realistic scenario based on current information. As with any major game development, timelines are subject to change based on production progress and unforeseen circumstances. Nevertheless, the Spider-Man series is poised to remain a cornerstone of both Insomniac Games' portfolio and Sony's overall gaming strategy. That's all the news for today, but stick around for a lightning-fast recap of all the biggest stories. And that's a wrap on another massive news day. We saw the epic return of Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, a cosmic trip with Space Adventure Cobra, The Awakening, a unique rhythm roguelike in fresh tracks, and a deep dive into the future of Spider-Man 3. If you loved this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to PS5 Nexus for all your gaming news needs, ring that notification bell so you never miss an update, and let us know in the comments which story you're most hyped for. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms for even more content. We'll see you in the next one.